Hi guys, my name is Mina and today we're solving a problem called compute the beauty of array, and we're going to be trying different AIs on this problem and compare it with the solution that we have here on the website. So first we want to read the problem statement. So we're given an array of integers a and a number k, and our goal is to compute all beauty of a subarray. Well, the beauty of a subarray is the number of elements in that a subarray, but it has to be strictly greater than all the elements that are in the right within the subarray. So let's look at one of the examples here. So if we have an example array being equal to these four integers, 4, 2, 1, and 3, and the k given here is equal to 3, we can see that we can have two subarrays of size of 3. So if I were to write these four integers and we have k equals to 3, we can have a subarray of 4, 2, 1 because that is of size 3, and then we could have 2, 1, 3 since the integers have to be consecutive. So looking at the first subarray, that beauty would be equal to 3. And then for this one, we can see that 2 is greater than 1, however 1 is not greater than 3. So the beauty here would be equal to 1 only. So we can see that the total beauty for this one would be just the total amount of beauties summed up within the total array. So the total beauty here would be 3 plus 1 equals 4. And then we want to test the AIs to see if they could solve this question for us. So I put this question up on ChatGPT and I told it to just write the code, no explanation, and I also gave it the starting code. So we can see here that it's doing a double for loop. So that means that this code is running at what time complexity? So if we have a for loop here and a for loop here and an if statement, then we can see that it's O of n squared. So if we submit the solution, if we just copy this and then submit the solution, if we run it first, we can see that it passes, but if we submit it, we get a time limit exceeded. Because when the test cases are much larger inside of O of n squared, which is going to take too long, obviously. So it's going to give a time limit exceeded when it comes to big inputs. If we look at Gemini here, and we also submit for Gemini, let's see, it's going to give us the same thing, where we have a for loop here, a for loop here, and then an if statement. But this is actually a triple for loop, so it's even less time efficient than when it comes to ChatGPT's case. So ChatGPT passed 10 out of 12. Let's see if Gemini passes. So it's also giving a time limit exceeded, and then it passes 10 out of 12 test cases. So if we look at our solution here, it uses a monotonic stack. So it's a data structure that we teach on AlgorithmsPath.com. We use it to track the next greater than or equal to element to the right for each element, instead of checking all of the elements of the subarrays. So that means that it only has to do a check twice, instead of checking through each element within the subarray. It's a O of n time complexity, because when we check each element exactly twice, and then we do some arithmetic to get each element's contribution to the total beauty. So since this runs in O of n, and it does so in a more efficient method, we want to see if this passes the test cases for us. I just have to change this to the proper, and if we submit it, it shows that it accepted all the test cases, and it did so in a more time efficient manner. What's the main takeaway for this? We can see that AI tools can help, but they still also struggle with problems that have unseen requirements. So most problems in the jobs that have ambiguous or novel requirements, and that highlights the importance of fundamentals. So this is why we created a concise algorithms path that gives you the fundamentals in the simplest way possible, and we encourage you to try it out. So thank you, and happy prepping for these interviews. Thank you.